right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our monthly masterclass here at People's Capital Group. We always enjoy educating our clients and our viewers here every single month with a new topic. If we're doing a new offering, we sometimes don't do a masterclass, so then those months we'll skip a month. But for this month, we are focused on an interesting topic here, and we have a guest, Faizan Niazi. How are we doing today, Faizan?
I'm doing great.
Excellent, excellent. So I wanted to team up with Faizan here on this topic because it is extremely interesting. I love to give back myself. I'm a big fan of World Vision. In fact, I'm running a half marathon for them in about 3 weeks, which I'm really not properly trained for here, but I'm working on it. This will be my third time running a half marathon with them, and I've raised a little over $3,000 for them. So not much, but I like to give back as best we can. We donate here at PCG a percentage of our AUM fees to a number of nonprofits, World Vision being one of them, a few others as well. And so I really love philanthropy. I love giving back. I love working with family offices and high net worth individuals that have a focus on that as well. And but Faizan here we were talking and he's explaining the strategy to me that just blew my mind on really maximizing the tax benefits of it and also making a serious difference. So that was really interesting to me. And we have Yana Scott here who just joined. How are we doing today, Yana?
Good. How are you?
Excellent, excellent. And I'll let you both do an introduction of yourselves, of your experience. Both really incredible people. Actually, Yana was on the podcast, the Passive Cash Flow podcast. The episode hasn't come out. We are about 6 months back on the podcast episodes. We have a lot of pre-recorded episodes, so your episode will be coming out in a few months. But keep an eye out for that podcast episode with Yana Scott. Really incredible person there. And so I'll let you guys do your own introductions when you start up here. But I just wanted to have you both on this masterclass this month because this was such an incredible topic. And I was really excited by it when we were talking about the philanthropic side of it, making a real difference, and then tying that in with the incredible tax benefits because taxes is one of the main reasons I'm in touch with a number of family offices and high net worth individuals. No one likes paying more taxes than they have to, but everyone seems to like making a difference with their money. And if you can marry those two things, then that's a win-win. So I wanted to have this team on here tonight. And, they really have an incredible system here. So I'll let them take over here and present. But thank you so much for joining the People's Capital Group Masterclass this month. And of course, we help people build and preserve their wealth in real estate. And we actually have an investor walkthrough going on next Saturday, October 4th, at one of our properties in Passaic, New Jersey. So if you haven't signed up for that, you'll get an email next week. But if you're around the Jersey area, join us then for a walkthrough next week. We'll talk about how we reposition apartment buildings and help people build and preserve their wealth. But tonight, we're going to focus on making a difference and saving money on taxes here with the Precision Charitable Organization Program. So Faizan, I'll let you take it away here and explain how you make this all work.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that great introduction, and thank you to the People Capital Group for having us on. It's it's a pleasure and it's an honor to be on your show. So thank you so much. Starting with a little bit of background about myself, my PharmD background. I started off my career working in pharmaceutical industry and climbed the corporate ladder over there. And while doing so, like many people who come into real estate, I started looking into doing some flips, started flipping properties. From there, went into single family rentals, multifamily rentals, moved to doing some ADA levels. From ADA levels, it became developments. And then it became a blend of a lot of different types of investment modalities, not just real estate. And so that took me down a track of meeting a lot of different people and joining an investment firm. And from the investment firm, we started running a lot of syndications, real estate syndications, private equity deals, some venture capital deals. And so we did a lot of different types of investments. And in doing so, we also learned a lot of tax mitigation strategies and ways to really give your portion of the taxes, but also not more taxes than you really have to give. And so I think it's important for all of us to know the different strategies that exist and taking advantage and utilizing them. Yana?
Yes. Sorry, I'm multitasking. That's what I do. Um, so I started out in public accounting and worked my way up eventually in the government sector. Oversaw State Department's finances, helped with filing treasury reports, and decided I like to joke. I was on the dark side. I got back to the light side. I still work with the government on various different aspects. I've published papers that have halted audits. I do a lot of work in different sectors, whether it's governmental, tax, individual businesses, and real estate, which is how I met Faizan. And while I always push for real estate, I think it's the perfect way to mitigate taxes and grow assets securely. There are a lot of programs on the market that offer tax mitigations, such as conservation easements, the mineral deals, etc. And after a few years of watching them and seeing bad actors in the field, I decided, hey, we can build something together with attorneys that actually does everything it's supposed to do, meaning helping the companies, growing the charitable community, and helping underserved communities, as well as one of the side effects, tax mitigation. So here we are.
So our core team is myself, Yana Scott, and our chief tax strategist, tax attorney is Chris Hines. So Yana, you want to just do a very brief intro to Chris?
I've worked with a lot of tax attorneys over the years, and when I met Chris, I think after the first meeting, I told him, I said, "You're not going to get rid of me." Chris knows everything. Chris is meticulous. He understands how to pick codes apart and find the and or that you find in the tax code, because not one tax code actually fits in. And so he has done tax strategies in many states. I mean, he's licensed on a federal, tax attorneys are federal, but he's also worked in multiple states and has licenses in multiple states. He has the amount of programs he has put together and overseen in general, not just tax mitigation, but also corporate structures, especially for positions when companies had to grow and really see what is the best possible way to be set up. He is literally my go-to person. I don't know how else to describe him. He is, I think, one of the best tax attorneys I've worked with over the last 15 years.
Excellent. Thank you, Yana. So that takes us into really the discussion today, and I really wanted to focus it into a lot of what we do in real estate. And so learning real estate, my experience in learning real estate, and I think a lot of people share this in the real estate world, is you learn it on the job. It's not something that we went to a classroom for. I could tell you from the medical field, you learn a lot from the job, but you gain your core and your basis through school. So you already have a strong foundation when you're coming into your career. In real estate, it's really, you go out there and you try to figure it out, right? And that's kind of the best way. So a lot of real estate professionals rely on they don't really rely on the formal education, and they mostly achieve success through things like mentorship, going online, looking at different things, bigger pockets, podcasts, different types of groups that provide that education, like this one, and really hands-on experience. They actually go out there and do it, learn it, make mistakes, and figure it out. And so, there was a survey that was done in 2022, and in that survey, can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Excellent.
Yep, we can hear you. Yep.
Thank you. My earphone wasn't working so well, so I'm gonna pop it out. So they did a survey, and that survey was to a lot of property investors, and a lot of them expressed that they had a desire for more education. They wanted to learn more. They wanted to know about the risks and the benefits of investing. And 80 to 86% of investors wanted more education around those types of topics. And so I think really what Aaron does here is really great. He's providing a forum for all of us to learn a little bit more and get educated because this is the way we learn in on the real estate teams and real estate clubs here. There is informal education. So thank you for providing these opportunities for us to learn and grow together. So when we look at investments, we have to understand that there's no one size that fits all when it comes to strategies in real estate. And over my career, I could say, as I moved from one type of investment to the other type of investment to the others, I really started to see that you have to use the right strategies for the right things. Uh, Even when you're looking at things like different asset classes, it's not the same strategies across the way we handle and the way we analyze retail, the way we do offices, multifamily, commercial assets, land, everything has a different strategy that has to be applied to it. And you have to think of it in a different way. You can't really approach it the same way all the way across. There's a lot of other considerations that have to be taken in real estate as well. Some of those considerations are entity ownership, structuring, and things like when should you use an LLC? What's the advantage of an LLC versus an S corp? And these have implications on earnings and taxes as well. Trusts. I see things online all day long about trusts, and you have to understand it. I mean, there's so many people out there who are like, you don't pay taxes if you have a trust. That's not how it works. So you have to learn a lot of these things. Is there asset protection? Is that what you're looking for? What are you looking for? JV structures, syndications, they're all a little bit different, and they have different types of implications on how you're going to approach that business, how you're going to handle it, and the responsibilities that you'll have. And one of the most underutilized strategies in real estate are the tax optimization side. There's people who know some things, and there's very few people who know a lot of things in it. I've learned so much every year from someone who uses a different strategy than I do, and then I try to really get down to why are you using those. And then what I do is I run to Yana and say, Yana, what is this? And she tries to break it down for me and explain to me and how I can utilize it properly. There's different things like cost segregation, and then there's accelerated depreciation. There's 1031 exchanges, and there's charitable giving. Those are some of the key ones that you'll hear a lot when you're looking at real estate. Yana, you want to give us a little bit of a breakdown of like the differences between cost segregation, accelerated depreciation, 1031 exchanges, and some of the tax implications like recapture?
Well, I mean, cost segregation, it does what it does, right? The cost, it segregates the cost. You know, every house is made up of different asset classes, 5, 7, 15 years. The overall class is going to be the 27 and a half for residential and 39 years for commercial real estate. So whether you have, you know, a multifamily unit, it's residential, office building, it's commercial. So the asset class that it always has initially is the 27 and a half and 39 year, depending on the structure type. But then cost segregation segregates the cost, right? Because bonus depreciation can't be taken on the 27 and a half year and 39-year property. It can only be taken on the 5, 7, and 15-year property. For example, the driveway, your kitchen, your flooring, the baseboard, anything that doesn't make a house can be separated into the different classes. And those classes allow you to then go into accelerated depreciation, which is your bonus depreciation. You know, there's section 179, etc. So you can then accelerate it. Now with the One Big Beautiful Bill, we're back up to 100%. We were phasing it out. Last year was 60%, so yay to the 100%. But then we also have the issue, right? There's non-recapture methods, but a lot of it has to be recaptured eventually as ordinary income. So, you know, there's different avenues. If you hold a building long term, and you sell it and you have a gain, you pay, long-term capital gain on it. Now, which is always in most people who invest in these buildings, the 20% is always a lot less than your ordinary income tax bracket. So if you take, certain bonus depreciations and you have to recapture it, let's say you have $100,000 recapture, you have to, as ordinary income, where it would have been capital gain if you would have sold it, you would have had 20,000 of tax. And now let's say you're in a 37% tax bracket, you have 37,000 of tax. So there's a lot of different strategies that can be built in. I think one of the biggest issues that I have seen with a lot of my clients who are heavily invested in real estate and not necessarily through syndicacies, JVs, who own real estate themselves. There's 4 classes on how to utilize real estate. There's active, there's passive. Everybody knows that the losses are suspended until you actually sell the property if you have real estate losses. Then there's active. You have a phase out. You can only take a certain amount up to a certain income level. But a lot of people seem to forget about the material participation, which frees up quite a bit. And then there's the real estate professional. Real estate professional, a lot of people are very excited about getting the real estate professional because it takes away any of the loss limits. However, in some states, it doesn't benefit you at all. There are certain states where the material participant is more beneficial than the real estate professional, and a lot of other states also, they do not allow bonus depreciation. So it's in a lot of states it's just a federal benefit. So you really have to look at like you said, it doesn't fit. No one size fits all because depends on the individual. Now, one of the biggest things that I've tried to come up with, especially if there's syndicacies or JVs, is a way to make every individual an active participant. Do not make them a general partner. That's not the point, but a limited partner can be an active participant. And if you can do that, losses are not suspended. Losses are not bound. They're always bound to a degree to the basis that you have, but they're freed up significantly more. So there's ways to really optimize this for all the individuals involved, whether they are individually owning the real estate through, they're just their 1040 under their name, or they own it through an LLC or syndicacies or JVs. It doesn't matter. There's ways to optimize it and really utilize it for your benefit, to optimize your tax situation. And I think that's important. Now, the charitable giving, I actually have an example right now. I had a meeting with somebody a couple days ago. They own a charity, and they're currently buying a $14 million building in Long Island. And the person that is selling them the building is actually selling it to them for $4 or $5 million less than the fair market value. Why? He's getting a write-off of the additional million. He has a $6 million capital gain. He's going to take a $5 million charitable donation deduction. Now, again, has to be 30% of his AGI. He probably has a high AGI, but now he is able to reduce his taxes significantly by donating a large portion of the building to the charity. So again, there's a lot of different options. Now, 1031 exchanges, I'm not the biggest fan of them. They work, but people have to realize that they're really just suspending higher and higher capital gains over a long period of time. And I've seen a lot of people who have not gotten, again, we're going back to education, have not gotten the education, who have been told, oh, do this so you don't have to pay capital gains tax. Well, it doesn't disappear, right? You carry it forward. So I've seen a lot of people who, when they get to their 5th property that is now significantly higher, they're looking at me now and saying, "Oh my God, I have such a high taxable event now." Well, yeah, so there's other ways to utilize your properties to free up the cash without triggering large taxable events other than 1031 exchanges.
So thank you for that. That was excellent. And what you're probably realized from what she said is a lot of it made no sense whatsoever. If you're like me. But Aaron could do a whole class on utilizing 1031 exchanges and some of the drawbacks and some of the things that you can do. You could probably do a whole class on cost segregation, accelerated depreciation, and every time you do them, you could probably do them again because I learn more every time I dive into the subject. So there's always a new layer, and then more recently, I've been layering, some of these strategies together, and like charitable giving with situations that occur with the 1031 exchange, and so
Yeah.
doing accelerated depreciation. When you sell a property and you've used some of these some of these modalities, and you needed the cash flow to do something, maybe something outside of real estate, and you're not jumping right back into another building within a period of time that you're supposed to. You're not going to net what you think you're going to net because you use some of these strategies. That's when you can jump in and also layer in with charitable giving and those types of programs. So that takes us to really what we're going to talk about today. And today's focus is charitable giving and how you could use that to either raise your top line or reduce your AGI. When we say AGI, that's adjusted gross income by up to 60%. Yana, you want to give us a little breakdown on AGI for anyone who might not be familiar
Well,
with the
you let me
terminology?
know when I'm getting too detailed. I have the bad habit of
Both
trying
of
to
us do.
say
Both of us
yes,
do.
yes. So AGI. So there's something called above line and below the line deductions. So adjusted gross income is line 1 through 10 of your return. Basically, it's your income, it's your W-2, your income from your K-1s, dividends, capital gains, interest, etc. So then we get to AGI. So there's deductions that happen before you get to the AGI on your tax return, the adjusted gross income. And that's exactly what it is, adjusted. There are some deductions that will be taken, whether it's losses that you have freed up, whether it's a mix of K1s that have losses or deductions, capital gains, capital losses, and then we have below the line, which is after your adjusted gross income has come into play. That is your charitable deductions. It's your mortgage interest for your individual residence, your taxes, real estate taxes, state taxes, etc. And then we get to taxable income. So now if we go and look at adjusted gross income here for charitable purposes, everything goes up the adjusted gross income. So before between the deductions that happen on your Schedule A ultimately, and you go between 30. There's different brackets. There's 20, 30, 50, 60. There's even 100%. But the most common ones are the 30 and the 60% of your adjusted gross income. So you have $1 million in AGI, you can give between 300,000 to 600,000 to a charitable purpose and get the write-off. Now, if you go above that, you carry it forward to the next tax year. So that's the gist of adjusted gross income.
Yeah, and you could see how utilizing something like this can be really powerful for real estate investors. A lot of us, when I gave the example of where I started my career, I was doing two things at once. I was doing my real estate investments, and I was also working as a pharmaceutical executive. And while I was working as a pharmaceutical executive, I was getting a W-2. So I definitely had a salary that was coming in that was getting taxed at a high rate because I also had income coming in from rental properties, real estate, flipping properties. And so there was definitely a lot of room for me to utilize different types of programs to work on fixing the AGI problem that I was facing. So you could see it can be really powerful. But not only is it powerful in lowering your AGI, lowering your tax rate, but it's when done properly, it also can enhance reputation, community relationships, partnerships with others, and it makes a difference, makes a difference in communities, the things that you do when you utilize charitable giving. So those are things to consider when thinking about what you want to do and how you want to do it. Getting into a little bit more on the detail side, what does our charitable giving marketing campaign look like? That's what we're going to talk about today. You'll see a lot of different types of programs that are out there, And I just wanted to highlight what we do and what we can provide a lot of individuals. Our program is set up with a focus on helping innovative companies grow without sacrificing ownership. We really want to look at a charitable giving that has really three key benefits, right? We want to look at it from the perspective of innovative companies and their growth. We want to look at it from people like you and myself that are investors who want to give. And we want to look at it from the perspective of the charities and the people that they serve. So we want to make sure that we created a program that can really serve the three of them. So what we do is we end up supporting the the generation of really funds for companies that are non-dilutive capitals, so they can scale while still having full control of their company and their company's vision. When I was in the investment, working in the world of the investment firms, I quickly learned from the private equity standpoint, you look for companies ready to go in the growth phase that you love, and then you negotiate hard and you give them the funding that they're looking for. But now I want to have a controlling say, a decision-making power within there. I want to have board seats. I want to have voting rights. I want to have a little piece of everything, that's going to be done within the company. And I start to dictate where that company is going versus the person who's running the company who had the passion, vision to get it to where it was, and they were just looking to take it to the next level. They have the other choice of taking debt. And for a young company looking to grow, that is really looking to scale their profitability, all their profit goes towards really servicing that debt. It makes it very hard to scale that business. So we tried to find something in the middle where we can help these companies grow. And we'll get into the structure and how we actually do that. And then from the investor, real estate investors and different types of participants perspective, how do we get them to support this type of initiative? They have to have some value that they're getting from supporting this initiative. And it was a natural fit that if this is something that can help them either raise their top lines, investors love doing that, or help people in communities while making somewhat of a difference on their taxes, that would be something that they would really look into and like to move towards. And of course, our charities love getting involved with us. We work with a number of different charities, and it's because we can give life-changing, life-enhancing types of things to them, and they can really send it out to their communities. And we don't raise, small amounts that are going to go to them, a couple of $1,000s. We try to really make a major impact as a group, as a community. We get together, all the investors, and try to do something that really make a difference in our communities. So that's really the basis of our program. How it really looks is you have a company here. So whatever company, say we partner with, these companies are companies that have either nutraceuticals or drugs that are pharmaceutical grade, maybe antibiotics, maybe something along those lines that people need, surgical devices. There might be technology there, that's there as well. And so some of our offerings have those. So these are things that people can really use, things that people need. And those companies then are willing to give these at put a amount of those into a master LLC, the rights to the manufacturing of those things or the rights to those services that they have, and they're willing to do it at a really discounted price because that lower price that's in there is what
Well,
we're going to create. Well, she's going to get technical on me now, so.
yes, I'm going to get technical. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So the way I like to put it, right, is it's twofold. All of these companies, let's take for example, an iPhone. You buy an iPhone for $1,500. Now, do you think it's going to cost $1,500 to make? No, it doesn't. Now, these companies they're in the same space. They have production and then they have their profit margin. Now, with this program, basically, they're going to get funds made available to them, free manufacturing. So that money is actually going to be able to be utilized and grows with them because yes, we're using gift cards. and I know there is a stigma to gift cards, but I want to point out the really quick a reason why we're using gift cards. A, as Faizan mentioned, we do have companies that have pharmaceuticals that have products that are per FDA have expiration dates. Now, if I give a company, let's say I give a company $50 million worth of product, A, where are they going to store this? They're going to rent a warehouse, not a company, excuse me, a charity. I'm going to give a charity $50 million worth of products. They have to find a secure and climate controlled storage place. They have to be able to get that product out before it expires. And they have to pay for the shipping. They have to pay for the warehouse. They're going to have costs associated with them. Charities do not have just money lying around. Now, the gift cards, what they allow, and they have a very strict tracking system attached to it, they allow these charities to utilize this product, in a very simple way. They can give out the gift cards to their communities, to the physicians, or if it's a non-medical product, to their communities directly and say, here you go. Use this. It has a cash value. Buy whatever you need from this company. Multiple products, any product, whatever you need, services. And it allows them to easily distribute it. They do not have additional costs. Plus, the IRS is not going to frown upon us giving something out that could expire and only a fraction is going to be used of it. So that it's twofold, right? It protects the charity and it protects us from the IRS, from their wrath of giving something out that could expire before it can actually be utilized, which would then make the donation deduction voidable. Go ahead.
So, thank you. So, if you were the investor that wanted to come in here and utilize this, prior to even getting into the conversation of charities, what you would be doing is, she already mentioned, it doesn't cost $1,500 to make an iPhone, right? That's their actual retail market price for the iPhone. You would make a contribution. Say you made a contribution of $100,000. You're going to buy $100,000 worth of gift cards. So you're negotiated at a price, right? The actual market value will be a 5x to it. So what you're getting is a gift card that actually has the strength of going to that
value. Yeah.
place, that company's website, and its face value is $500,000. So you put in a contribution of $100,000, and you were able to, purchase this Series LLC that has been really loaded with these gift cards. So now these gift cards are part of this Series LLC, and it's now yours. Okay, so it belongs to the Series LLC. You have now taken control of it. You have two choices essentially from there, right? Now you own it. You could either operationalize and sell it. Remember, I said you can really use it for an ROI or raising the top line. You can operationalize and sell it. And what does that look like? Distributing it yourself, or through a partner with a redemption company, talking to them and negotiating, hey, I got these gift cards. They're worth this much. How much would you give for them? Because then they're going to want a discount, right? Because they're selling it. And so, you have that option, but you have the other option, and this is the turnkey option. And we love that term in real estate, turnkey. And so you can donate it. And we've already talked to a number of charities that are willing to take these products because it fits their mission, and that's what they're able to give it directly to people within their communities. And so you could donate it directly to a 501c3. So if we look at this,
there's a couple benefits, right, to each of it. So if you
yeah,
decide to distribute it to yourself, whether it is you distribute it and you take your gift cards and you go and take it to the company and you go get the product yourself, what do you want with $500,000 worth of product? You can sell the product. You can go to Amazon, you can go wherever and sell the product and, triple, quadruple your original purchase of the $100,000 in this example. Or you can, like you said, go to a third-party reseller, a gift card reseller, which we have been working with as well, and sell them for, 65 to 92 cents to the dollar, depending on your net terms. Again, negotiated. However, all of these will generate ordinary income tax. So if you come in, because you want to actually mitigate your taxes, that option is not necessarily the best for you because you're just going to increase your income, ordinary income as well. Now, if you go with the charitable donation deduction, you have 100,000 in, you get a $500,000 charitable donation deduction. So if your AGI is $1 million, you will drop your AGI down to 500,000 with the charitable donation deduction. And you will get the charity acknowledgement letter that very clearly states, thank you for the $500,000 charitable donation.
Thank you. So just to review again, if you're a person who put in a contribution of 50,000, you would get a 5x on that because you're getting a deal, right? And that's why you're coming into here. They're willing to do it because they're getting the capital up front as a company. And unlike a loan where they can go right into debt, they're getting the capital up front, and then people are going to start claiming those gift cards over time. They never expire, and people will claim those gift cards over time, but they don't have to shell out all that merchandise, product, drug, or services at once. It's going to happen over years. So they give themselves the operational money to scale, whether they have to buy marketing, marketing materials, marketing teams, salespeople, whatever they need, increased development. They're able to do that with the funds that come in up front, and then they're going to come out of their accounts slowly as they start to spend to make the products or provide those services. That's why they're willing to do it. Your benefit is you're getting that 5x. So you're buying a deal. And we as investors love buying deals. So we're getting a deal and it's a 5x. So we have to now decide what we want to do. Do we want another job? Right? And this carries risk because can you move it? Can you not move it? What value will you get for it? Or do you want a turnkey process where you could donate it and you're going to get a 5x write-off on it? So what it's really value on the card is really the fair market value is what you're getting. These people can go on the website and they can go purchase these products, services directly from the manufacturer. They don't have to go to any third party. I thought a case study would help a little bit because we've said a lot of things and it's hard to track, but just say you're in New York City and you have a taxable income now. Say whatever happened, you made some sales, there's recapture and all sorts of stuff happening, and you're like, oh man, I got a taxable income of $500,000. You normally would be sitting with tax liability around, this is not exact, these are estimates. If you want exact, that's what Yana does. You can get those for your own situation, but it would be about $240,000. And that's an effective tax rate of 48%. If you were to take a $60,000 investment, right, in terms of coming in and purchasing that Series LLC for 60,000, you get a 5x on that because you're getting a deal. You would lower your taxable income by 300,000. So you went down to 200,000. Now you can already start seeing the power of this. You start off with 500 and you drop yourself down to 200. You're seeing that your tax liability now is $96,000 from $240,000. The gross savings you just made by not having to give to Uncle Sam, which you normally would have had given to Uncle Sam, is 144,000. That's not the net though, because you actually had to put in 60,000, right? So your net is 84,000. Say you were to do this investment next month, right? We're talking about October. You got November, December, and you do your taxes in April, right? So then you got January, February, March, April, 6 months. This is what you're looking at, for your investment. You're looking at $84,000, which is what? 200, what is the
40%.
return on here? Yeah, so
So
you're
yeah,
getting almost 100, you're almost making 200% ROI, which means you're getting your 60,000 back and you're saving more than you actually started with. So you got another $84,000 in net savings, and you dropped your effective tax rate to 19.2%. So you could see how this starts becoming powerful. Simply put, you put $1 in, and for the $1 in, you got $2.40 back. So that's from the savings perspective, and it can be very powerful on how you utilize that those types of savings. If you really want to build your wealth, you would then take these savings and then you'd pour them right back into another investment that's going to be able to build your net worth. If you're a W-2, you're going to see these in a return. You're going to get a check back, and that check back can go straight into something like a life insurance policy. You could pull out, the cash portion of that life insurance policy and put that into an investment and really turn this into multi-layered vehicles for yourself from the investment standpoint.
Let me add something to this as well. As we talked earlier, we talked about above the line and below the line deductions. So the good thing is this is based on your AGI. This is a below the line deduction, which means that your AGI, which is what most lenders, if you want to buy a car, if you want to buy a house, if you want to invest in real estate, get a mortgage, etc., that's what most lenders look at. So your AGI, the deduction for this happens below the line. So your AGI stays the same. So your return will still show an AGI of 500,000, but your taxable income will be dropped. And the lenders don't really care so much about what happens between your AGI and your taxable income, because those are usually not expenses that are done because you have a business that drains you. That's above the line. You don't, a lot of clients that I see who want to go into properties right now, they've utilized businesses for losses. They get K1s that have a lot of losses, and they're going to go, well, are you still responsible for it? Are you going to have these huge expenses every year that you have to put in order to get it? So that kind of scares the lenders. Now, the good thing with this is your AGI will still look the same. It's what happens after that is what's going to give you the effect. So anybody who asks you, for your return to take a look to ensure that you are credit worthy, they're still going to see the 500,000. What is taxable though, however, is the 200 now.
Thank you. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of flavor on this year, the types of partnerships that we have. DNA Vibe is a company we're working with, and that company has wearable red light therapy and thermal energy, thermal resonance products. They developed theirs for athletics and muscle recovery, fatigue recovery, injury recovery, and was heavily being utilized by the Atlanta Braves and Major League Baseball. But they're looking to scale their business. And when you work with companies like the MLB, you don't market. You can't market the MLB logo. You can't market MLB players. Then you have to go through the MLB and the Players Association. So that's not a marketing avenue they have. So they want to operationalize funds so they can really start getting these in the hands of consumers. And so this is one of our offerings. And I mean, where's mine? Mine is sitting here somewhere. I mean, I'm a former
We
athlete,
use
so
them ourselves, yeah.
I use it every day for hours. I have 5 knee surgeries, both my Achilles, and you name it, I've probably broken it. So,
And they actually
you know,
just partnered with Notre Dame as well. They just signed a
yeah,
partnership with Notre Dame, and they have multiple top NFL trainers on their board. That is who are giving this out and ensuring that not just Major League Baseball players, but also NFL players, WNBA players are
collegiate
utilizing
athletes.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, so these really help people in their recovery. It's great that the athletes are really taking advantage of it and trainers, but we want to get into the hands of people and help people also gain these benefits and advantages. Neural Earth, really cool product where we're partnered with this this charitable organization called SETI, and they're giving it to schools, and this thing is like what we do when we have a survey, but it takes a survey and it adds the topo on top of it, and it gives you soil information, it gives you wind information, it gives you so you could start tracking weather, seed patterns, flu type of migration through the wind patterns that are happening throughout the world. You can go and find out really everything you want to on a property. You can find out just by using this product. It'll be able to tell you exactly the square footage of this building on the outside. It'll be able to tell exactly how much square footage you have on the roof. I mean, it's just really a tremendous product, and people are able to use it for farming, for agriculture, for like the CDC type of information that you really want to try to start understanding the patterns. for architecture. There's so many applications for students to be able to utilize it. It's amazing. Here we have Nanogenesis. Nanogenesis is a nutraceutical, and they have some great products. Antivid, it's and really an anti-immunity. I mean, it's anti
It helps
really
really get
virus
oxygen into
sickness.
your blood
Yeah,
system.
it uses hyaluronic acid and carbon 60 to really decrease inflammation and hydrate your lungs and really improve your breathing. And then they have other things like Mind Expander and Eon C60, which are anti-inflammatories. And they have things like glutathione in it, which has really been shown to help with ADHD, with autism, and other things of the like. So reducing inflammation in the body, in the brain is very critical. And they use carbon 60 as a molecule that they bind onto so they can deliver the therapeutics to the
It's
right places.
water soluble, which is the important part. It's not oil based like a lot of others. And this product currently is being utilized by multiple professional athletes as well, and has made its way up into certain government agencies for testing right now.
You have Luminous Micro, which is this you see right here. I don't know if you could see it, but it's an endoscope, but it's a micro endoscope. It's 1.1 millimeter. And the number of surgeries I've had where they've had to cut, my knees open or cut, large areas for my Achilles. This is 1.1 milli. It's like a thick needle that can go in, and it can help with surgeries. It's got a camera on it. It's got suction. It's flexible. They can go into your sinuses where they went in blind up until this point, and now they can see the cavities that they're going in and clean out and document what's going on within your sinuses rather than really having guesswork being there. This is a revolutionary product, and it could also be put onto a solar pack, and the monitor and the device can be used with a battery powered solar pack that they could take this into villages and places like that where they're remote places and do surgery that they never could do before. And we're working with AmVets over here, and a lot of veterans are going to be able to benefit from this and have minimally invasive surgeries where the recovery time is going to be way less now because there's going to be so much less damage from those.
And they're
DeFi
actually going
tax.
global. They're going global as well. So they're flying people in from remote, countries that don't have good healthcare, because these come with not just the scopes, but also the handheld devices, the consoles, where you can see what you're doing. And it doesn't need internet. It has the software on it, and it comes with actual training for all these physician and cadaver labs. And those are very expensive. So we're really branching out with this as well into a global level.
Yep. And DeFi tax, it's the most accurate crypto tax accounting software that's available. And not only do they do that, they have bookkeeping. They provide a platform for accountants, CPAs, and more importantly, what we know that this current administration is going to be doing is they're going to be coming after all the crypto users for the gains and losses over the past, what is it, like 7 years. So people who are trading for fun, people who are trading thinking this is decentralized, it's non-taxed, it's still gains and losses, and they're coming for them. And it's really going to impact the middle class. And the audits are starting. And so this product not only has your crypto tax services, but it also has audit defense. So there are services in there that you could add on and utilize those gift cards to help with audits that are coming and that might impact you. So really great product over there. The time is running, so I know that we went way over on time, so I want to go quickly. I like to always be clear about what people are putting their money into. So, we have the contribution that that's going to be the best for you, which is you can take up to 60% of your AGI and reduce that. But on top of that, we have a fee of 7.5%. That 7.5% caps at 10,000. So once you get past an investment of something like 100 and what is it, 27,000, it caps at 10,000 no matter how much higher you go than that because our fees are covered already. We're not looking to really gouge people and hurt people with fees. but we're looking to cover our expenses. So your money
And
goes
it's
to
all
where
about
it's supposed to go
compliance,
to.
right? There's no reason why $100,000 investment, for example, it has 7,500 in fees, and then one person comes in with $1 million investment, all of a sudden it's 75,000 in fees. There's no reasonable explanation for that for any government agency that might take a look at it, because fees do not increase, whether it is for the legal opinion, whether it's for the marketing, whether it's for the tax or compliance or admin or the entity maintenance, right? It does not increase tenfold. So there had to be a cap built in because, again, this is all about compliance to ensure that 100% is going to the master LLC, which is owned by these companies, and only the top part, which is 7.5% capped at 10,000, is allocated between all the companies that are running this program for them, which is the marketing, legal, tax, compliance, admin, etc.
Excellent. Thank you. So just leave the FAQs up here because people might want to review this, and these are the questions we generally get from our accountants that are reviewing it, and so we aggregated some of the most common ones here. So you'll see the 6 most common questions we get from our accountants and CPAs that are there.